Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the RacingBet preview, looking at the racing at Flemington and Kembla Grange, which has been the Rosehill meeting transferred to Kembla Grange on Saturday, September 11th, Group 1 Makybe Diva Stakes Day in Melbourne. I'm your host, Tim Geers, joined by Trent Crebbin. This week's presenting sponsor is winnersbet.com.au, Australian-owned bookmaker. Make sure you jump on WinnersBet this weekend if you are having a bet. Trent, another great weekend of racing lies ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge weekend of racing. We've got the Group 1 Makybe Diva Stakes at Flemington. We've got some outstanding undercard races as well at Flemington. Some real spring prospects for the coming weeks, and I think there's a few horses that look very hard to beat, and a really good meeting at Kembla as well. The run to the Rose is a ripper.
Yeah, we have I think three Group 2s on the card at Kembla and one listed race. As you mentioned, the Run to the Rose, we've got the Theo Marks and the Shirako Stakes. And at Flemington, centre stage will be the Makybe Diva Stakes, a cracking field for that one. But you've also got 4 listed races and an additional 2 Group 2. So there's plenty happening this weekend, and we'll have it all covered on RacingBet.com.au. And we're going to take you through our best bets, best value bets for the weekend on this week's preview. As I said, brought to you by winnersbet.com.au. Trent, we'll start with you in Melbourne. A little bit short this week, I think, since the market's open and since you've done your preview. But your best bet of the weekend at Flemington is going to be race 5, number 2, Ayrton. I think $1.80 went up. The best I saw remaining was $1.75. Should just keep his winning run going here, you would think.
Yeah, definitely. I really see it hard for Ayrton to be being beat here. I was a touch hesitant with him first up at Caulfield. I thought that win there was excellent. You know, he's kind of got back just off midfield, really charged the line. He put away a solid field, did it in some very strong fast sectionals. He's ran the second fastest last 400 of the meeting, only betted by Masked Crusader, who came from last. So, look, I think he's just going to win. The price has been snapped up. I marked him about $1.50, so anything above that should be a bet, and I think he's going to be extremely hard to beat, Ayrton.
Yeah, I think we were just saying off air, it's a bit like that day in Brisbane. A lot of people kind of turn their nose up at tipping $1.80 best bets, but that day in Brisbane, I just thought $1.80 on that occasion was value, and I thought he'd win the race more than whatever it was, 67% of the time, or whatever the maths works out to be, and so it proved. I assume you're in a similar vein of thought here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the way he won that race in Queensland, he won it like $1.20 shot, really. So, Look, I've done the maths. I think he probably wins 7 out of 10 times. I'd be happy taking the $1.65 or so available. Maybe you can try and watch the market, get a little bit better late if a couple of people are keen to take him on. But he's going to be very hard to beat, Ayrton. And, look, I think he's a bet at the price, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I've got one that I think is going to be very hard to beat at Kembla Grange as well, and this is race 6, number 4, and Trevier. This is a Kiwi mare who was meant to run a couple of weeks ago, I think, and then she showed signs of lameness in the lead up to her resumption, so they scratched her from that race, and she takes her spot here in the Shirako Stakes instead. I think this is a Shirako. Look, she's got an imperious winning record. I think she's had, 7 career starts. If I just get my facts right, 7 career starts of 5 wins and 2 minor placings. Her only start here on Australian soil. I'll pop the replay over the screen now. She ran second to Fasika on this occasion. You can see her in the Tiaka colours on the right of the screen, the orange with the blue sashes on the sleeve. She only went down by a nose on this occasion, 0.2 lengths. As I said, this was the Sapphire Stakes back in April, and this was her only start on Australian soil. Other than that, like I said, she's had 6 starts back in New Zealand for 5 wins and 1 minor placing. So there's plenty to like about her. She basically picks herself, and I thought if she turned up here at 100% and she was fully over that lameness issue, of course that's somewhat of a query, but I thought if she was over that, she'd be winning this. And I thought there was only one danger in the race, and that is number 8, Written Beauty, who is currently $6.50. What do we say about her first up run? I'm not going to put the replay over the top because I'll probably be sick watching it back. But she'd been springing the lids at the trials, jumping like a gazelle, and then it got to race day and she completely made a mess of the start. Tommy Berry showed no urgency to get her up in a position after that. She basically settled last on the fence and zoomed home along the inside. Ran 5th. It was a super run to run 5th. I think she's back to her best this preparation, and if she does jump on terms with them this weekend, I see her as the only danger to Entrevier. So the way I'll be playing it is having a good bet at Entrevier and saving on Written Beauty. That's race number 6 at Kembla Grange. All right, Trent, something for the punters. A little bit of value, please. We're going to head to race number 6 at Flemington. Your best value bet of the day is horse number 13, Bonvicini, for the Mar Eustace stable. I think Harry Coffey's doing the riding this weekend. I'll let you do the talking, but the best price at the time of recording is $31. I think you got a little bit better than that.
Yeah, she has come in for a little bit of support, Bonvicini. Like, I thought she was a good play here each way. She's got a really good first up record. She's 3 starts for 2 wins and a third. And the third actually came in this race last year in what I would consider a much stronger event. She ran third, beaten a length or so by Pretty Brazen and a handy enough mare by the name of Arcadia Queen. So I think that clearly reads quite well for this race. She had a bit of a time off, 41 weeks between runs, so maybe there was a bit of an issue over the winter. But I thought if she turned up in her best form, she also won at this track and distance 2 preps ago first up. She gets a good run, I think, from the barrier. It's an open mares race as usual, but she gets down in the weights as well for a mare that has proven talent at this level. So I thought $31, getting about $6 or so the place. I thought that was a good each way bet in the Let's Elope Stakes, race 6.
Okay, and my best value bet of the day at Kembla Grange is going to come up in race number 7. This is another one of the features. We're talking about the Theo Mark Stakes here. A couple of horses hard to beat here, but I'm going to make my best value bet number 3, Roe Heron, at $9. This horse has basically an unblemished first up record, 5 starts, 5 wins. I'll play the replay of his win last preparation at Eagle Farm as I speak here. You can see him coming in the red cap down the wide outside. Only gets up in the very last stride, but as I said, it's pretty hard to ignore a horse with 5 first up runs for 5 wins. It does take on a couple of smart ones. We saw Private Eye resume from a spell with a pretty super win first up. He now steps back up to Group 2 company. He's had 7 wins from 10 starts. Pretty hard to knock him. The other one that's come in for a lot of market support and now is favourite is Big Parade, horse number 10, now $2.90 after winning by 3.5 lengths first up here at Kembla Grange. He bolted in second up last preparation as well. But he now steps up from a benchmark 88 to a Group 2. The highest rated race he's contested in the past has been a listed race. So this is a fair step up in grade. But look, if he shows up in the same form that he did second up last preparation and follows on from that first up run, he's going to take a power of beating. But yeah, I just thought at $9, that was a good enough price for me to get into Roe Heron with that first up record. He'll likely get back from barrier 7, but Huey Bowman goes straight on first up. 1 quiet trial under the belt. And yeah, I thought at those odds he was slightly overpriced. So I'll make him my best value bet of the day at Kembla Grange, race 7, number 3, Roe Heron. Okay, feature of the day at Flemington is the Group 1 Makybe Diva Stakes. Trent, I'm going to handball over to you to take us through your thoughts on the day's feature there. And I'll play a couple of replays over the top. But tell us how you're going to play this race.
Yeah, it's fascinating, this race. I think the biggest thing to note has been the market support early for horse number 6, Incentivise, the boom stayer from Queensland. He's won his races by 9, 10, 12 lengths up in Queensland. So look, it'll be interesting to see how he measures up. I was siding with horse number 3, Ki Nautique, who comes out of the Group 1 Winx Stakes over 1,400 metres first up. I really liked his run there. He got a long way back, kind of had to look for runs and get off heels at the top of the straight. But I thought his last 400 metres or so was excellent to run. I think he ran 5th to Mwanga, beaten just over half a length. You can see him just in the pink cap at the top of the straight there, trying to edge off heels. And you see his work through the line there. He kind of is just a bit tight for room with She's Ideal and Cascadian on either side of him there as well. Look, if this horse gets back to anywhere near his Japanese form, he's going to take a power of beating here. He's got form around the likes of Almond Eye, Gran Allegria, Danon Smash, Indy Champ, Danon Premium, just to name a few. And we've seen a couple of those horses, or Danon Premium, come out to Australia as well. So, look, I'm not suggesting he's quite back at that level, but I thought that first up run indicated that he's maybe approaching that level. And if he is, he looks a good bet at $13, $14 or so. So playing him, Ki Nautique on top. The other one I want to have something on comes out of the Memsey Stakes. That's horse number 13, Inspirational Girl, the former WA galloper, now with Danny O'Brien. I thought she ran quite well. First up in the Cerise and White there, just midfield, getting through the line quite nicely. She's really going to appreciate getting out to 1,600 metres. She's already a Group 1 winner of the Railway Stakes in Western Australia at 1,600 metres. She's unbeaten second up with three goes for 3 wins, and also at the trip 3 goes for 3 wins. We saw Superstorm last week put in a similar kind of run first up in the Lawrence and then elevate second up to win the Fan. So I think Inspirational Girl can do something similar here. And if she can just settle a touch closer from the good gate, I think she's going to run a really good race for you. So they're the two I'm siding with, KI Nautique on an each-way basis and something on Inspirational Girl as well.
Okay, I'll just bring up the market here and we can have a look at what we've got. So we've got Sir Dragonade, $21. This is with winnersbet.com.au. 50 stars at 20. KI Nautique, the horse you've just spoken about, Trent, is currently a $12 chance. Imaging at 21. Mount Popper, 34. Incentivized, like you just mentioned, this has been an enormous go. He's into $3.70 now for a horse that's basically won a couple of races up in Queensland. Now finds himself favourite and a well-backed favourite in a Group 1 weight for age race in Melbourne. Explosive Jack, 21. Johnny Get Angry, the Derby winner, 71. Aegon, the Kiwi, $9.50. Mo'unga, $4.80, coming off that first up win in the Winx Stakes. And then you're down to Colette and Tafane at $4.60. And Inspirational Girl rounding out the market at $7.50. So how do you expect that form to line up from the Winx Stakes coming down to Melbourne here with Mo'unga, Trent?
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. I guess you've got the Winx and the Memsey as kind of the apple for apple comparison, 1,400 metre from Melbourne to Sydney. Look, there's a few people potting the Winx Stakes. I thought it was still a solid enough form reference for this. I thought Mo'unga got a great ride there from Tommy Berry, kind of got on the back of Very Elegant, peeled off her back in the straight and managed to win. I thought the run in isolation of KI Nautique was better if you look at that replay, but I do admit that Mo'unga has plenty of upside still. Is still only quite lightly raced and is very talented. So he's got to be a big winning chance. Tafane out of the Memsey was very good. She gets to 1,600 metres for the first time. I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. The stable have kind of been quite confident that she's looking for a further trip now. She's an obvious winning chance as well. I just thought they were well enough found at their prices around $5 a piece.
Yep. Okay. So you're with KI Nautique and what was the other one as your main play?
Inspirational Girl.
Inspirational Girl. $7.50 for Inspirational Girl. $12 for KI Nautique. I'm fascinated to see Incentivized. This is one of the most fascinating races for the spring, I reckon. I mean, there's only been a few Group 1s so far, but there's so many different angles to consider here, and there's some pretty big ramifications heading forwards for the rest of the spring out of this race. So it's going to be an absolute cracker, that's for sure. That will be this week's hat competition. So jump on the RacingBet Twitter page. I'll share the screen as I'm talking here and show you where to head. All we need is the winner and the winning margin. Here we go. Click a few buttons. Okay, so head to the RacingBet Twitter page. This is the tweet you're looking for. Okay, free RacingBet hat up for grabs. We need the winner and the winning margin for the Group 1 Makybe Diva Stakes, race number 8 at Flemington. There's your example, Inspirational Girl, 1.2 lengths, and nearest the pin, whoever guesses the correct winner and gets closest with their winning margin will win themselves a RacingBet hat, the one like I'm wearing at the moment. We'll get it sent to you in the post. So make sure you get involved there. Okay, and some big news, Trent. Next week, we are looking to do a live episode of the RacingBet preview. Probably at this stage going to be on a Thursday evening, but potentially on Friday. We will let you know details of that. But it'll be the same format as what you're seeing us at the moment. It just won't be a pre-recorded episode. We're going to be trying to do this live, and we'll try and get some of your viewer feedback as we go. Some viewer questions. We'll look to be going, I think, on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. So if you've got nothing to do and you like watching the show, make sure you tune in live for the first time next week. And if you have something to add to the show, you can chuck in a comment. We'll bring it up on the screen and we'll dissect it and discuss it as we go. So pretty exciting, Trent.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a really good feature for people that want to ask a couple of questions. If they want a horse touched on, on the meeting, maybe even a horse around the country that they've got an eye on. So, do get involved, and we can't wait to see you guys next week.
Yeah, and it gives us something different to talk about than just me and Trent looking at each other. We can interact with a few people who are tuning in from home, hopefully. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll post some more details throughout the week so you'll know when to tune in live for that one. But that'll do us for this week's episode, Trent. Can't wait to get stuck in on the weekend. Great day of racing in both Melbourne and Sydney. And even over here in Perth, there's some good horses going around. I haven't done my Belmont preview at the moment, But at the moment, I think my best bet of the day will be race number 2. I forget which number it is. You'll have to forgive me. But Hoover goes around in a 1,400-metre maiden. Stephen Miller and Brad Parnham, I think it'll be very hard to beat. It's currently at $4.40. So there's an early tip for you at Belmont on the weekend. We'll have Belmont, we'll have Kembla Grange, and we'll have Flemington, all covered on racingbet.com.au. Good luck on the punt, and we look forward to you tuning in live next week.